Hi everyone, it's Frank here. Glad you could join us. This week got a really special show for you. There's a guy in Salmo that had a huge mining museum and stuff. His name was Don Endersby, and he died a number of years ago. And he had a big museum, a huge collection of mining stuff. It wasn't really open to the public, but yeah, he passed away, so they decided to auction off all his stuff. So now is our chance to go there and see all this stuff in one place before it's all dispersed all over the country. And obviously, we bought quite a bit of stuff for our museum. So we're going to go there and we'll show you Don's museum. There you go, there's a compressor there and the tank. Sullivan, which is also the name of one of the biggest mines here, but I don't think they had anything to do with each other. This is a mine that we haven't been to yet, the Reno, but we're hoping to get up to it. And it's a big tram line, the bull wheel, it's a pretty big bull wheel.
Like right on the platform? Yeah.
There's the tipping cars. See, it's got the automatic tipper here where it hits the trip. It's where it trips. They're not a very big car. Fairly small. We've seen a lot bigger ones. Pretty decent sized bull wheel though. There's a couple of jack legs there. Look to be in very good shape. Big one, a big rail one, some smaller ones. You know, steam power was really common back in the early 1900s, and not just for mines, but for everything, for sawmills and to generate electricity and various other things. And there was a lot of deaths, a lot of people got killed, especially in the big stern wheelers and stuff that they used. They used steam to power a lot of these boats and stuff because there's no roads here then. But no, this is rusted or welded shut. The one problem they had with these steam boilers is, especially on the boats and stuff, they had a safety relief valve, so if the pressure got too much, it would just blow off. But they tied the damn thing shut because they wanted to go faster, so they just shoveled more coal into the damn things and defeated the safety mechanism. And it was not uncommon for that to cause the death of the boiler to blow up and cause the death of the people in there. The safety standards were some lacking in that time. So here's a couple other boilers, and they're smaller boilers. They use boilers to run all kinds of winches, tram lines, shaft stuff. Pretty much anything you can think of in a mine. They run the air compressors, and this one was to run off the Mod S, and this is one mine that I haven't been to, but it's in this area. And they use the boilers to run the stamp. No, they're pretty similar, the boilers, there's not that much difference. You look inside, you can see inside this one. See, there you go. You'll see the tube up in here. That's a pretty old rail car here, and looks like there's a winch on it. A PTO-driven winch. No, it's driven by this little engine in this case. Gotta go.
Back to the seat. I got 3 or 4 of them.
This is an old mine car. Yeah, there's a little mine shaft here. So there you go. There's one of those small CIL boxes. And there's a jack leg. And the mine didn't get any further than this. Yeah, so there's a little ore cart here. And some samples. A few batteries. There's Ross, the chainsaw museum guy, looking at some chainsaws, no doubt. He's got about, about 1,500, 2,000 of them now. Yeah, the wife won't notice if you sneak a couple of those, so. Once you're wet, you might as well go swimming, I guess. There's a drill.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Kind of neat. It's got a
Inside the door here, see?
got a belt drive, so you could actually power it too, I guess. I suppose. Yeah, you got if the power goes out, you got two options. Here's some more pumps, jack legs.
If we can all please gather down here, we got some opening announcements, a little bit of housekeeping, that sort of thing. We'd love to have you down here for that. If you haven't registered to bid, we've got some lovely ladies ready to come to this Toyota pickup. We've got a Thai food vendor we're happy to have here. I've heard exceptional things about those people.
That's pretty interesting. I don't know if it still works. No, she's seized up. Bounty mine. There's an ore bucket.
Look at this grader here.
Some prospector's kit.
Yeah, I'm Bob by the Warren. Warren, pleased to meet you.
Yeah, I got some more lights and stuff here. Helmets. Few odds and ends, some dirty dishes. I'm sure lots of bottles everywhere. Carbide container. Still full, maybe. Well, here's just another room here. This is all kinds of these jars. There's piles and piles of cans and lids and jars. Horse slouch. These kind of bottles, I like these embossed ones. I love embossed bottles and blue ones too.
Part of your next show, Frank?
Oh, yeah, I'm always filming something.
No, enjoy your videos. They're great.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. Figure I better stock up my museum. They got a lot more stuff here than I got.
Yeah.
We got a job. It's a little bit below minimum wage, $1.15 an hour.
They're going to sell that in locker.
Let's see what else we got. Locomotive assay cups here. Quite a whack of them. There's a big chunk of galena. Oh, these are blasting cap. Oh, there's safety fuse. A whole roll up.
Yeah.
Lots of lamps here. Electric lamps, batteries for lights. There's a safety lamp.
Well.
Yeah, because there's going to be.
Carbide. Flask hip container. Blasting caps. Carbide. These are some pumps they probably use in the mine. Maybe. Saws. So what would you do with that winch?
Deer are eating
Winch
everything,
rocks
and I
around.
want them to do it
Winch
over
rocks.
here.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you're Frank. Hey, I'm Woody.
Buddy, how you doing?
Good to meet you. I always watch your show.
Oh yeah. Well, here's another little shed here that's got quite a bit of stuff in it. I don't know what that is. A churn? Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool churn. Little washing machines. And an old kind of restored cabin. Looks like it's a pretty old cabin. Well, I don't know if it's restored. An old cabin. radios and lots of tin cans and stuff here. It's gonna take a long time to auction all this stuff off. We got a radio and lots of plates, cutlery, stuff like that. It'd be neat if they had anything from Phoenix. Any plates or anything like that that had any writing on them. Oh, here's some small motors. What kind we got here? Yeah, I'd like to read that. Water pump. They're really small. It can't be like more than a horse or so. Marine motors. And there's another motor. Oh, there's a Crosley here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Ruston. Worcester. That's a pretty neat looking motor, that Ruston. Alright, there's that Crosley engine, not very good shape. I don't think I'll be getting that one running anytime soon. There's a few other ones. F.B. Myers. That one there's water pump. There's another engine there. Looks like he's been sitting outside for a long time. A couple other smaller engines. Cushman. This looks like some kind of air-powered winch. And what do we have here? Some other old engines. Oh, there's a blower, a PTO powered blower. The Sullivan small engine. That must be a pump, I guess. Yeah, that looks like a pump. Small International engine. A couple other Fairbanks, Morse. Small gas-powered engines, I guess. Looks like a chainsaw almost. Chainsaw engine. Forge, that's a forge. Yeah. And that for bellows for a forge. There's a couple other blowers. Oh, that's a water wheel. A Belton water wheel. Would use that to generate power. Oh, no. Drill steel sharpener. A rigger's winch. Rocker shovel. And coal. More mine cars. Another locomotive. Electric Loki. There's a big Loki. Ruston, yeah, it's about a 36-inch gauge, I guess. That's a big Loki. What's this guy doing? It's got a diesel engine in it. I like this little electric monkey.
He actually made it, yeah. And that's when I got looking this one is too little,
Thousands and thousands of bottles of every shape and description. Blue bottles, embossed bottles, plain bottles, some mineral, there's some galena, molybdenite, oh yeah, moly, cool, chunk of moly, there's some galena. I think the galena should go with the moly. Yeah, that's better.
More grease guns, you're getting all these ones. They get their 1 money and 10. $10 bid 10 bid 10 5. $5 bid 5 5. First hand at 5. Sold there. 179. 120. Sold 110. 5 All right, here's what. Have a look at this reel. At 25, bid 25, bid 25, bid 10, bid 10, bid 10, bid 10, bid 10, bid 20, bid 20, bid 30, bid 30, now 40, I'm 30, now 40, I'm 30, here's now 40, now 40, now 40, 40, here's now 50, then 50, now 60, now 60, now 60, now 60, now 60, now 60, so 55, 5, Clank came, fly rod here, 40, 40, then 30, then 20, 20, then 30, then 30, 20 here, now 20, then 30, then 30, then 30, 20. New Zealand apples, nice fancy box stickers on both sides with stamp mark at 50, bid 25, bid 25 at a bid 30, 5 at a bid 45, now 45 at a bid 55 at a bid 55 at a bid 55, 45 at a bid 55, are you sure, sir? 45 at a bid 55.
Oh, we're just going to load the treasure up here. All right, just swing her head there, she's good. Get her on there. So we're just going to give you a kind of a quick look at what we have here. So this is a collection of some jack legs and stuff and an ore chute gate. And this here is a setup for a drill that's air powered and stuff for drilling. And here are the two engines that were at Dawn's, part of Dawn's collection that we actually did manage to buy. They're just really cool engines. The one is a Lister Blackstone diesel, and both of them will turn over. They're not seized or anything. I think there's a good chance we can get them running one day. And this is just a beautiful engine here. This Ruston built in England. Just these engines are probably about maybe 5 to 7 horsepower, I guess. I would think, and it'd just be a matter of time till we get them running. And here was a kind of a really cool blasting machine that we bought at the sale there. And this is a bunch of stuff that we have. This, I think it's called a Lynx. It's a gas-powered jack leg that miners and stuff use, where they could, where they didn't have access to air. It's an explosive box that came from the Alco claims that John Nadokas, he passed away, and we got all his stuff. And he mined back in the 70s, so this is newer stuff from the 70s, not as old as some of the stuff that I got. And yeah, then here's a really old drill there, and it says 1911 on it. Old air-powered drill, some chute gates that we have here. We're going to set up, eventually we're going to set up a chute. We're going to build a replica chute here and have the railway right underneath the chute. with this boiler, so we'll just run the railway out with our locomotive here. This is a MCO locomotive. It doesn't have the air tank on it, but other than that, it's fully functional. I've restored it. And this is an old ore cart that was originally used around 1900 up till 1905 when they became obsolete and they started building steel carts. This would have been pulled by a mule, and it was built out of parts, and the wood's all new. Steel's all old, and refurbished this whole thing and built it right from the ground up, so I know every nut and bolt and part of these old carts. Here is another cart that I've seen some other shows. It's called Tippy. So it's a newer style cart. It was built probably in the 30s, and it's just using mid-levels of the mine to access mid-levels to dump it down to the main haul level. This is a steam generator, right? It's a 13 watt, I believe. It's a Pile International, or Pile National, and what it does is it converts steam to electricity. So it's the same type of thing that we used. This company first started making these for locomotives. That's how you get electricity in locomotives to run lights and stuff, with a steam generator. This is an MCO rocker shovel. They call that a mucker. And they use that inside the mine when they're digging tunnels. And this is fully functional. It just digs in, and the shovel goes right up over top and dumps the ore into the car right behind it. So then the miners don't have to shovel the ore here. So this is a kind of a cool sign. This came out of the HB mine. And then that actually refers to the Granby cars. They had the self-dumping cars. My big Crosley engine, this engine is a 17.5 horsepower, and we haven't had it running, but it turns over freely, and it weighs 4,400 pounds. Crosley engine, runs at 500 RPM. Just a beautiful engine, nice shape. And you know, there's a fair bit of engineering to get these things running, but yeah, we'll get to her. This is just a cool picture that I got from Don's collection. I got some really cool display cases. We put a few things in them, spittoon, an old spittoon, some tins and stuff. This is one of the rooms that I have, a whole bunch of tools on it, you know, old blasting boxes and stuff. And the oldest being the giant powder company on top. It says 1918 on it. And some of the tools and stuff that they used back in the day. Some bricks. One bricks there says Granby on it. And some different paraphernalia from the, this is actually copper line they used inside the electric railways to run the railways inside the mines. They used electric locomotives and compressed air in mines. They didn't use diesel engines back then. They weren't clean enough to run underground. Here's another display case that I have set up, just explaining the evolution of the different types of miners' lamps, right from candles to electric modern day headlamps that they use, and a set of old gold scales, carbide lamps. And this is original sign from inside the HB mine, explaining they have this at each level of the hoist, explaining the signals and stuff that the men use to call the hoist to the different levels. A couple old sewing machines, and here's a number of old a collection of really old light bulbs and stuff, hand-blown bulbs. They used to blow light bulbs by hand, as with everything made out of glass. And some bottles that from some dumps back in the 70s, and there was an old radio I got from Don's collection there. And some other electrical equipment, stuff out of mines. And this is an old telephone that I got out of Don's collection also. So crank that up and it's hooked up to the telephone, and then the operator come on the line and patch you through to the whatever number you wanted or who you want to talk to. And this is a tram cart. So it was an aerial tram run on a cable. It's kind of a part of a gravity system. And we have some movies and stuff explaining how that all worked. Here's just a collection of different types of rocks and minerals and stuff that we've come across in the mines, different things. Lots of shiny rocks. This is a sample ore grinder that ground up materials and stuff for samples. And these are just some of the bottles. A lot of these embossed bottles and stuff I got from Don's collection. And it's mostly the embossed ones that I'm interested in. It's just a personal preference. I always like to read the writing on the whole bottles. So we got quite I pretty much kept, I had about 10 boxes that I bought, and I'm displaying all the ones that are embossed with these different logos and stuff on the, whoop, I'm kicking jars here. On these jars. So here's a couple other things that I have here. This is called a mucker or a slusher. And it brings ore down from inclined levels in the mine. Here's some ore buckets and stuff they use in shafts. And there's a big shaft winch. And here's another quick shot of that winch that I picked up from Don's sale there. So it's yeah, it's got a motor and a winch. So just not as big as the other one I got, but it's really cool because it's all together with the engine. This here is an air-powered tugger. They use to pull them slushers, that kind of thing, inside the mines. It's got a 4-cylinder air motor. This is obviously the kind of the best thing I got at the sale. This is the Midnight Mine, this air compressor from 1915. So I don't know, we may be able to get it running one of these days. It's seized right now, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't operate at some point. Pretty neat looking compressor. Pretty good load for a pickup. And it's also Sullivan. And the Sullivan was one of the biggest mines in the area, but had nothing to do with this. So this is my house. The museum's right beside it. I'm at 5615 Kenmore, just a few minutes from town, just east of the airport in Grand Forks. I have an open house this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, so September 30th. Probably be from 8 till 4. Invite anyone to come down and check out the museum, and also answer any questions about the mines in the area. I've been almost all the mines around here, and I'd love to see anyone that likes to come out and visit the museum.